everyone. Welcome to the Femme Tell All podcast. We're so happy you're here. And my name is Madison Bellissimo.
And I'm Ruth Devereaux.
And today's subject is jealousy.
Bum, bum, bum.
The green evil
Devil.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It can be good. It can be bad.
It can be bad.
And let's talk about what stirred up this conversation.
Yeah, how did this come up today, Ruth?
I was at dinner last night with my lovely boyfriend at Joey's in Woodland Hills, and there was a waitress there that would not look at me and not speak to me, would only speak to my boyfriend. And we were about 3/4 of the way through dinner, and I'm like, is it me? Am I reading into this? And so I finally said something to him, and he goes, no, I feel really awkward. And he was a complete gentleman about it. But instantly, I start sizing up this girl, and I'm like, God, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Do I have to murder someone tonight? Yeah.
Or do I need to be, what is he thinking instantly? Like, is he attracted to her? Like, even though he's being a gentleman about it.
I'm glad you put it more on him than her. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that is usually the thing. It's like, well, fuck her. She's trying to, and it's like, but
also
two
fuck
parties
her.
involved. There could be two parties involved in that, like,
Yeah.
weirdness, right? I'm not saying Neil, but I'm saying, like, in that instance.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I'm just saying that can happen where you're like, well, what was happening? What was the situation?
Yeah,
Why did
you
they
need
think,
to know both ends.
Yeah.
And if somebody's encouraging it, then that like incites more jealousy, obviously.
Totally.
But I think that jealousy exists in relationships across the board. I think there's a healthy level of jealousy you can have, and then there's an unhealthy.
I was going to just ask that. I was going to say,
I believe mine's healthy. I'm not biased.
I fucking ride for you. I die for you. I will never be like, Ruth is ever wrong in her life. But that was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. That you literally went, there is no unhealthiness in my jealousy. And it could never be. That is iconic. Yeah, and I love it for you. And I'm going to stamp, I agree. I don't even know what she's saying. But yeah, she's never been unhealthy. With her jealousy.
Oh, I've been unhealthy.
Yeah. No, there's been a couple of times where you've called me or texted me and been like, this fucking thing happened. Should I be? And I'm like, I hear you.
That is true. She has corrected me.
I don't correct you.
No.
God,
no. Not in a bad way. Yeah.
I'm
but
sorry.
you have, no.
As I correct you. I didn't correct you.
You need to pull me back to earth sometimes.
Sure.
I think it's like, we can make jokes at it. And like, definitely there's some fun that can be had. And like, I feel like I've never been jealous in past partnerships, I will say. Mm-hmm. This one has been different for me, and it has been a learning lesson of being okay.
I can see your eyes glazing over, and you're like, war sounds great right now. It's true. I get it, though.
I put on my war band.
Yeah. We've talked about it on this podcast and outside, where we've said, and I'll give you permission here, that when you really love something, I get that you would have a little more, like, if it feels like this is the most precious relationship you've ever had, this is so, like, sincerely means so much to you.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I understand why you're a little more jealous than you might have been in the past with other relationships.
Yeah.
I get that.
And the weird thing is, like, I'm not in a place where I'm with somebody that incites it in me or that, like, ever makes me feel uncomfortable.
No.
But it's because I know how high value this person is. Mm-hmm. And I've talked about this too. Like, I'm extremely attracted to my partner. That I'm like, I know these bitches.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Nothing.
Pretty sure she said, I know these witches are gallivanting around because it's Halloween time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what she said.
Yeah.
No, but I get you. I get you. I get it. Yeah, like when you're really attracted. I can't even.
She's fighting so hard to still be on my side. Well, speak your truth.
No, I am. I'm speaking my truth. Okay. It's because I relate and I don't. Because I trust me. I've been there where you see someone that's like gorgeous and they're talking to your partner and you're like, who the fuck is that? And you're trying to be cool.
Yeah.
You're trying to not assume the worst. You're trying not to project, because sometimes it does come from insecurity. Sometimes it does. And I'm not saying it always comes from insecurity. I don't, for some reason, I don't believe that. And maybe that's me giving myself its own excuse, but I don't think it always stems from insecurity. I think it can be a weird position that you get put in that you go like, the energy feels off. Like last night, like that girl was only talking to him.
Yeah.
And that would make anyone feel uncomfortable.
Totally. And I do understand also with my specific partner, like there's like in his line of work, like he talks to a lot of people, he talks to a lot of girls, and like I feel comfortable in that. And so it's not like to the level of which I'm like, oh, you can't talk to anybody or anything like that.
And let's clarify, if you did say that, I'd be like, Ruthie, I'd be like, baby girl.
No, yeah.
We can't do that.
Nobody should do that to any of their partners. Like there's definitely like no guidelines of like you're allowed to be friends with the opposite sex. I fully believe in that. I think anybody can be friends with the opposite sex, and there doesn't have to be an underlying like sexual tension there. I know that like I've heard that said in other places. I disagree with that completely.
Yeah.
But I will also say I definitely feel more protective of this partner and possible people coming.
She's even like being very choice with her words.
Because like even like I won't speak on this subject, but a certain subject that had come up recently where I'm like, I don't trust that person. I don't want them around.
Yeah. Someone coming into your current partner's life that you feel like there's ulterior motives.
Absolutely.
Like we can say general things so people are at home, know what's happening.
Yeah.
There are some people that can come into your life with your partner and you feel they have ulterior motives. And I do think, to your point, that you can feel uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
And you can express that to your partner and start setting boundaries of like, I don't know how much they can be involved in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's like, it really is weighing out like the levels of jealousy. I think there's healthy where it's like, it's just like an overbroad, like I know this person's high quality. And like, of course, like I don't want people like interacting with them inappropriately. Like they can interact with them, but not inappropriately.
Yeah.
And then there's the deeper levels of like, if you do try to like cut your partner off from having any interaction with the opposite sex because you're so extremely either jealous or uncomfortable, there might be reasons underlying that. Is your partner inciting this? Is your partner not protecting you in certain circumstances or not making you feel like
withholding
loved?
some information maybe?
Yeah.
They're not open and honest that they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And you're
so
going
you
like,
have to... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
You need to assess like where the jealousy stems from, like the levels of which it is, and then also the actions that are following that to realize if it's healthy or unhealthy.
Totally. I agree with you. And I feel like it's so funny. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I kind of like it when my partner's a little jealous.
Yeah.
Maybe unpopular opinion.
No.
It's tasteful.
Yeah.
It's tasteful.
That's
Let
the
me
levels
preface.
of it, right?
Yes.
Like if he was like, don't talk to that guy,
No,
you're
God,
going to be
no.
like,
I'd be
no.
like, fuck off.
But if
first of
he's
all.
like, oh my God, you're mine, and like nobody can have you, like sort of thing.
It's getting hot in here. Yeah, no, literally. I can think back to like partners that I've dated before where I was like, I could lick someone's face and you wouldn't care. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, you need to care.
Yeah.
If I lick someone's face, that's inappropriate. I'm going to care if you lick someone's, like I was like, there's a spectrum. Like, I want you to trust me.
Yeah.
I want you to trust me, of course. But like, and you should. I'm trustworthy. But that sounded like that was false, but I truly am. But like, I would want that. I'd want us to have that mutual respect and trust. But there's also like, people are going to hit on your person.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. No, literally, they will. For the people that are listening at home, I just saw the biggest like stank face from Ruth that she was about to murder someone, and it was specifically that waitress at Joey in Woodland Hills. So yeah, I think there is something to be said about it. Can be an attractive quality.
Yeah,
I've had partners that like, I've been like I had this one is a healthy version of it, in my opinion. I was getting dropped off at a date and he was like, you look so good. And I was like, thanks, baby. And then he was like, people are going to hit on you at this thing. Yeah. And I was like, no, they won't. He was like, yeah, they will, but it's okay. You look gorgeous. And I was like, yeah. Aww. And he was like, all right, well, and you could tell he kind of needed some reassurance. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? Like, you don't have to worry about it because it doesn't matter if anyone hits on me because I'm with you. Aww. And then it was like, that was like a nice moment that we could share, where cute, it's like, I'm yours, you're mine. And I like that you said that. And let me throw you a bone and like confirm to you right now that you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Someone could lick my face. No. I know.
Does this happen a lot in your life?
No comment. But like, that's where I go. I think that there's a spectrum there where it can be healthy, and I do think it can be attractive.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I wouldn't want a partner that was so comfortable. Like, I would actually say my long-term partner, never jealous.
Yeah.
Never. And just like didn't like, but also now I know it's because like he never looked at me like that. So he never thought like anybody else would look at me like
No,
that.
totally.
Whereas like my current partner, for sure, he even said last night, he was like, I'm so glad that I go out with you and I see people looking at us and I know I get to take you home.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's hot.
Yeah.
Like I've had guys where I'm out with them and I see them clocking other guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, la, 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 la. But then I see them like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, did someone look at me?
Yeah.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, baby, no one looked. Are you kidding me? And then they're like, yes, 8 people did. And I'm like, never. And then I'm like, but then at the end of the night, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm in bed with
exactly.
you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
sorry because you're in bed with me. But
You welcome.
yeah. But like I do think it's attractive when they're
Yeah.
like, I know that.
You're mine.
Yeah. And
but they also have to feel comfortable enough to know that you're theirs. Like you
Yeah.
have to give them that like support and like knowing, saying like, I'm here with you. I'm your ride or die. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
People can look and want all they want, but you're mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to have a little tangent really
Yeah.
quick if we could.
Please.
If you will, listeners at home. I think some people might take offense and issue with the use of your mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I love it.
I do too.
But I do feel I see where it could dip into problematic of like the possessiveness, right?
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, you're mine. I'm like, we are each other's.
yeah. I
But-
mean, like, I think it's the intention behind it too, right? Like, I think if it's like said with like love and like caring, and it's like more like you're mine, I'm gonna take care of you, like I want you as a partner.
Yeah.
Versus like you're mine, don't fucking do like
Yeah.
like that's different.
I think it is that there is like some nuance there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would anticipate that it might correlate to like belonging to someone. I don't think that's the case. I think hopefully you at home can hear how your
Yeah.
partner's using it. And if you like
Yeah.
it and you don't like it, you can say that to them. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole point of boundaries and whatnot.
absolutely.
I guess
I hear
for
what you're
anyone
saying,
involved
though.
with myself or Ruth, you can say that to us.
Multiple times.
We love that.
Yeah.
So
Scream it.
icon. She's really pulling out all this stuff today. I love it. But yeah, okay. So can you give me an example of where you felt jealousy really served you or where it hindered you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I have like 3 adult relationships, so I always use like the
It's
same
okay,
ones.
yeah.
But like I think like the healthy jealousy I definitely experienced with Neil. Like he's very complimentary, and he'll say like you're mine, or like what the outfit I was wearing last night. He's like, you really want to be ravished tonight, don't you? And I was like,
Oh shit. I love that you're saying this on the podcast.
I know, sorry, baby. I love you.
No.
Unhealthy would definitely, again, coming back to the toxic ex. I think that things that he would say were always said out of more of insecurity, more of a fear of like feeling like I was better than him. And so like any compliments or like any things like that were always said with, God, I can't even think of the right wording for it, but just it didn't feel the same.
Sure.
And maybe it is just like how you feel when somebody approaches you with something, or how like, I think energy is very easy to read.
Yeah.
And people can use the exact same words, but a different energy and a different meaning behind it. And I think generally you can pick up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then where do you think that you experience jealousy the most?
Like in relationships?
Do you think it's more a physical situation? Let me expand on that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more like if you see a gorgeous woman that you feel threatened by for whatever reason, even though you're gorgeous, but we all do, you know,
yeah.
You are a human and you're allowed to feel that. Do you think it's more that, or would you feel like you would get more upset over like a friendship that you felt like they have a bond? Like, I feel like.
See, for me, because I have such a good friendship with my ex, like I would never get upset about anybody having a friendship with anybody. Like
Yeah.
I think that it's so rare that we all are able to connect with people on a very like good level. Like it's hard to like in this big world connect and get to know people and like
Yeah.
really feel connected with them. I've used connected a lot in that sentence,
you're-
but like it's hard to find good people in your life. So if like my partner had a good friendship, and it was clearly just a friendship, I
Yeah.
would never be jealous of that. Like I would support that. I think that it's good for people to have that around them.
Yeah.
I think that probably I would experience more jealousy if I saw my partner looking at somebody
Oh yeah.
in a sexual way,
Yeah.
or like in front of me. Like I would be insanely jealous because not only am I there, but they're also like disrespecting enough to like do it in front of me. Like, to be clear, this has never happened in my current relationship, but like that I would be probably like irate about.
Irate. It's true. I get it. Okay. Another
What about
tangent.
you?
No,
I'll
I was
bring it
just
back
gonna
to
say-
you. No, I want to hear your answer. Yeah, don't
Okay.
escape.
As far as what I would get jealous over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's seeing someone that's gorgeous that I feel like I think that they have a relationship with them, or like they have a flirty energy with them.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna expose myself really quickly. Been told I'm a flirt. I've heard that for years. I know that I am a little, but I am good at turning it off when I need to.
Yeah. I don't think you're a flirt. I think you're just really friendly. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're the same way with me that you are with other people.
That's
are you
true.
flirting with me?
Rude. Not in front of the whole audience. Yes. No, but it's so like I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's it's only
It's just
friendly
who
to
you
me.
are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Same. I
See,
agree.
I struggle with this a lot too because I think that like if you are that way and people read it as flirty, is it your job to turn it off, or is it their job to recognize that they're like reading it the wrong way?
Yeah. That's a really great question. I don't know. I think there's ownership on both parts. I think someone who knows that they're like myself, I'll just use myself for example. I know that I'm more like touchy and fun and like I'm all these great things. More in the way of like I'm touchy, I'm expressive, I'm someone that's like really engaged when I'm talking with someone.
Yeah.
And I know that can come off as flirty sometimes. So I try to mitigate it when I know it's a professional setting. I try to mitigate it when it's someone that I know is like in a partnership. And not that I'm saying like I free for all flirt with anyone else that doesn't meet those criteria, but like I definitely, when I know that like it would be extremely inappropriate to be taken as flirty, I try to mitigate it. But then like that's where I'm like, people just need to be more forward and like if, like be like, are you flirting with me? You know, like I think you're allowed to do that because I think the rub is where people just assume you're flirting with them and then they come into them DMs and they're looking at you like, well, you were super flirty with me. And I'm like, never once in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a more thrilling conversation with a bagel.
The bagel.
Yes. But like in that way, I'm like, no, like that wasn't what was happening, right? So I think, if I saw a girl coming on to my man, but I remember there was instances where I knew that the guy that I was dating, multiple different men, that a woman in their life was very clearly had a crush on them, or like, you know, it was just like from their behavior, it was very easy to like detect and like be like, oh. And I remember like my long-term partner, there was this girl that he was working with on a project, and he like told me a couple things, and I just kind of like laugh it off. And then one time I was like, she has a crush on you, I hope you know that. And he was like, no. And I was like, she does. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, you don't have to apologize to me. Like, there's nothing. Yeah. I'm like, just be kind of aware of it. Like, you don't have to like not be friends with her. You don't have to never talk to her again. But like, if she starts, you know, like you can.
Isn't there also something,
boundaries.
and I'm going to kind of go against what I guess I said earlier too, like being with somebody that you know other people have crushes on, that other people are like seeking after, doesn't that make you feel like, if you feel comfortable in the relationship, it makes you feel kind of like,
I'm hot shit. We're dating because we're both hot shit. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad that we contradict ourselves sometimes. I don't think you're fully contradicting yourself, but I think that's the point of this podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
is
it's
like,
a conversation.
Yes,
and
it's discourse, and we'll have it with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're willing to go back and forth on things too.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever said anything. I don't think you have either. Where it's like, no, this is
Staunchly,
like what it is, and like we're unwilling.
Yeah.
Like that's why we always ask you guys to interact as well, because we want to hear, like, change our minds. Tell us another way to think of something.
Yeah.
Give us another point of view. Like that's the whole point of this.
We'd love to hear your your opinions on things, as long as you're not being weird and misogynistic in the comments. Catch yourselves, boys. Catch yourselves.
Please back it up.
But yeah, I think you're right. Like that is something I love that when I can sense my guy being like that. Like when a guy's like, and I'm like, right next to him walking. Like, that's the best feeling in the world. Like that's the best feeling on a date. When you look good, he looks good, you guys go out and he's like, he's with you, but then you can see him like doing stuff to like, I love the like subtle things. Like that's where when I've been at parties with my boyfriends or something, I'm not the girl that's like, hi, you know, in media, it's always like, hi, I'm blah, 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 his fiance. Like that's in every fucking show, movie. You're like, okay, it's over. I get it. Yeah. But it's like, you do the subtle stuff, right? You come up and then you do like the back rub or like, hi, honey. Yeah. And you're like, hi. Hi, nice to meet you, you know? And it's not to be like, it's not a power play or anything like that, but there's something sexy about that. Yeah. And I feel like the same thing when I've like had guys, when I've had guys do that to me, where they've like walked up and been like, hey, like, and they put their hand on my back or something. And I'm like, you know, it's like everyone knows the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep it clear.
Yeah. Keep it clear and clean.
Yes.
So yeah, I think, but physically I get more threatened than, I don't think about emotional affairs as much, even though those are rampant. I don't think about that as much. I think my insecurities, this is right. My insecurities lie more on my physical appearance than my, personality or what I bring to the table. Like, you know, I don't know, in a meta sense and like my emotions and my brain. So because my insecurities naturally lie in the physical sphere.
Right, that's where
I have a harder time when I see someone that I am like, oh my God, they're drop dead gorgeous.
Right.
And they're interacting with my partner. Then I think that's where I feel more threatened.
Yeah. I get
At least
that.
for me.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point too. Maybe that is like something to kind of be considered. Like, where do you find those insecurities most? And is it something to even work on in ourselves? Like, because I mean, the goal, right, is to be like, I still stand by the fact of having like a healthy level of jealousy, but then the goal is to also be so secure in who we are and knowing that if somebody does leave, like,
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, have you ever seen either firsthand or secondhand through friends, family, whatever, where jealousy has ruined a relationship?
I would say I've seen it where it's been a piece of it, but it's been brought on by circumstances of another partner doing something that then started that jealousy, and it's grown in that person because of what they've seen, a lot of it being social media.
Yeah.
And then it could lead to a relationship being ruined because like they feel so insecure in the interactions this person's having online or in life.
The issue gets bigger than
Absolutely, yeah.
it's nucleus.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What about you?
Yeah. And for sure. I feel like I've seen people where you just are like, you're getting in your own way, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where like whether again, it doesn't matter the gender or the sexuality. I've seen other people just be so blatantly jealous and possessive of their partners that it's like the other person feels like they can't breathe. And even if they're completely loyal to them, they feel like they can't, like, I don't know, they never, like, their homeostasis never calms down, right? They never feel like, oh, I can just be in ease with that person anymore. So then everything becomes a fight. Everything becomes like, were you looking at that guy? Were you texting that guy? What are you doing? You know?
I will say though, like in my first relationship as an adult, I had been cheated on prior to that one. And I came into that relationship very insecure and very untrusting.
Yeah.
And that person said to me, I have nothing to hide. Go through everything and anything that you want. Yeah. And it still took some time for me to feel safe. But like after a while, I'm like, I'm not finding anything. Yeah. I'm not like, there's nothing for me to be worried about or scared or jealous about. Like, because he's not hiding it and I'm not finding anything. Yeah. And I think that's like kind of like I've heard such a negative kind of conversation, like, oh, you should just trust your partner. Sometimes you need to prove that trust. Yeah. And like, what if you have nothing to hide? What's the problem? Like, who cares?
I agree with that.
Have access.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you feel comfortable being the partner, I understand the opinion of being like, why should I have to? Yeah. Right? Like if we've built this trust, why should I have to show you everything? I get that like other side of things could be, it feels like a lack of freedom there, but in the same breath, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. If even slightly I had a partner that was like, hey, can I see your DMs because I got worried. I saw this guy commenting on your thing and like, do you mind if I see your interactions with
Yeah.
him? I'd be like, say less.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be like, here's my phone.
Totally.
You know, and I wouldn't, you know.
But if he was like, can I see your text messages with Ruth? You'd be like, no.
No, literally. I would have been like,
That's
so
basically
I
our
need to delete
diary.
something. Yeah, I'd be like, don't listen to any voice memos that I send any of my friends. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would be, yeah. You're entitled to privacy.
No,
you are entitled to some self-privacy.
I definitely get that, and I agree with an asterisk. I think that I do think that if I was with a partner that had past trauma,
yeah. That's a total different.
Yeah.
That's like you're also coming to the page. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but like
no.
I agree with you. Like
Yeah.
that is context,
Yeah.
right? That is
Yeah.
if they're just coming out of left field and they're like,
Totally.
fucking show me all your records right now. You'd be
Yeah.
like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Why are you
Yeah.
doing this? If they come into the relationship, saying, I've been cheated on before.
Yeah.
I have I have a soft spot for this in the way
Yeah.
of like, I do get insecure. I need blah, 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 you
Yeah.
know, and they then preface that. Then
Yeah.
I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Continue. Sorry.
No, I mean, that was basically, I think that it depends on like how you approach a situation. I think that if it's something that's not like forever, like you have to give me access to everything.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like there's nothing that I have that I wouldn't just show to Neil. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing that he can't read. There's no account he can't look at. Like
Yeah.
anything, he doesn't have, but if he wanted it, he could have
To
it.
femtall.
He starts posting for us.
It's like, hee, the girlies are fighting. Using all the memes that we come up with. Yeah.
But if he wanted to, he could, and I have nothing to hide from it. And if it made him feel better in our partnership, I would do that.
Yeah. And I think that's at the end of the day with jealousy and all of this that correlates is you just try to respect your partner as much as you can,
Yeah.
right? And you try to respect their boundaries. You're trying to like make sure they don't feel insecure.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't have full ownership of that. I don't want anyone thinking like I'm saying you're responsible for your partner's
No,
insecurity.
yeah.
Don't morph my
Yeah.
words here, but I do think
Thank you for clarifying
there
that.
needs to be some care.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be care and consideration across the board.
Absolutely.
And that's with your behavior with others. That's when you see your partner
Or
talk
even,
to someone.
Like I made a joke multiple times last night about the waitress, and I feel like overcompensated the rest of the night to make sure I felt okay.
Yeah.
To make sure he like I knew there was no way he
There's
was trying to represent himself in
Yeah.
any other way than
Yeah.
being there with me.
He's like, I'm practically married. This is I'm
You're
like
married.
I would love that. I love any man that's like I'm like, that's the energy that I want. I want my man
And
to be
that's
like,
what you
ew,
will get.
ew. Have you seen the
those-
ring? Have you? Oh God! Have you seen the memes that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is the same one, but where it's like I will answer on the first ring. It's like guys with coffees in their hand, and then like their girlfriend calls, and they like drop it, and they're like, "Hi, honey, how's it going?" I'm like,
I haven't seen those.
I love that.
I love the
shit.
ones where they're like, "This is how your girlfriend expects you to react when
Yeah.
a girl tries to
Yes.
talk to you."
Tries to hit on. No, God, no. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Kinda, sorry. But I know that that's not going to happen, and that's okay. And you're hot. You're going to be hot. You know, like if we're dating you, you're going to be hot. Or maybe not. I've dated some questionable. That's only as of recently. But yeah.
We all make mistakes.
And then they cheat on you. We laugh at the pain.
It's the only way to make it through life.
Everyone's gonna be like, Maddie, are you okay? I am, I promise. I just had to
great.
make the joke. Because yeah. Anyway, so jealousy.
Yeah. So to wrap us up here, there's a lot of different levels of jealousy. Please make sure that you check your actions that are associated with any jealousy you might be experiencing. There is the level of healthiness where you just know you're with the right partner. But if it's going beyond that and it's becoming unhealthy, just assess if it's something internally or something with your partner that you need to have a conversation about. Thank you so much for being here. We're so happy you're here. We will see you next week on Femtell.
Thank you so much.